evening, everyone. I'd like to start off by just giving you an update on crime conditions in the 34th Precinct so far this year. As you heard me say before, 2014 was a good year in the 34th Precinct, where we were down 2.3% in overall crime. So now we compare ourselves to that year. So we have our work cut out for us. That's how it's done in the NYPD. The CompStat compares current year to last year. So we have to compare ourselves to a good year. So having said that, so far this year, things are going pretty well. We're down 5% in crime for the year. That's overall index crime. We have 149 index crimes this year versus 157 on the same date last year. So that's a 5% reduction. Last year we had reductions in robberies and burglaries, but compared to last year, so far this year we have reductions once again in robberies and burglaries. We have so far this year 34 robberies compared to 42 on the same date last year. That's a reduction of 19% in robberies. And so far this year we have 16 burglaries, and last year we had 23 burglaries on that date. That's a reduction of 30% in burglaries. So thanks to the work of these officers who are seated around you, so far this year is off to a good year. But having said that, we still have some work to do. We have our work cut out for us. Last week, on Tuesday, February 17th, we had our first shooting of the year in the 34th Precinct. A male was shot in front of 445 Audubon Avenue at 38 minutes after midnight on Tuesday the 17th. He was a male Hispanic, 20 years old. He was shot one time in the back in the course of a robbery. Today, during the investigation of that shooting, a search warrant was conducted on Audubon Avenue, and 3 men were arrested, and a .22 caliber handgun was recovered. That may or may not be the firearm used in the shooting. Ballistics are still pending on that, but that is in regard to the shooting investigation. So we're glad that the investigation is going forward in a positive way. And the investigation is still ongoing. Earlier this week, the 34th Precinct Detective Squad, who had that search warrant today, they had another excellent arrest on Monday. You've heard us talk about the rent scam that had been going on in Inwood and in Washington Heights. A woman named Jennifer Ricardo had scammed about 11 different families out of money. Thousands of dollars were lost by each victim, and the perpetrator fled to the Dominican Republic. The 34th Squad had a vigorous investigation. Despite the fact that the perpetrator was no longer in the country, they kept up their investigation. They put what's called an ICE hold on the perpetrator, which meant if she comes back to the country, she's immediately arrested. I think their pressure on the perp got to her, and she got in touch with the authorities, and she turned herself in on Monday, and she was arrested on 11 different counts of grand larceny, one for each victim. And the DA's office is working hard on that case to prosecute her. Another good arrest this month on February 13th. 2 of our officers, one of whom is one of our new trainees. I know you've probably heard the police commissioner talk about the trainee program, where a rookie officer is paired with a more senior officer. Well, those 2 officers made a gun arrest in Sector Adam. They got a 380 off the streets. It was a domestic dispute. There was a fight between a man and a woman, and the male fled in a vehicle, and he had a 380 caliber handgun on him. So the officer stopped him, subsequently arrested him. So I think the crime reduction in the 34th Precinct directly correlates to the hard work that these officers do. So I just like to mention these good stories because it's just phenomenal police work that goes on every day by these officers and these supervisors that are here.